Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Woki, and I'm back with another Fake Grand Order video. What are we talking about today? Well, Servant Summer Festival is coming to a close. It should end on August 7th. And as such, the main thing that everyone was summoning for this year is going to be leaving, and I figured it'd be a good time to kind of take a look at what banners are remaining for the year 2025, and that's going to be today's video. So if you end up liking the video, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It does help out the channel a whole bunch, and you can tell me what you have planned for summoning. I know a lot of people have already told me that they're not summoning again until next year, so they're like, nope, when the next summer banner comes around, that's when I'm doing it again, but I'm sure that's not the case for everyone. So feel free to tell me what you're looking forward to, or even if you're summoning for the remainder of the year. It'd be interesting to hear. It's always good to get a good gauge so I can get a look at what people are currently interested in. But anyway, so before we begin, some things to clear up. How do we know what's going to be happening to us? Well, because we exist on the NA version of the game, or the global version of the game, I should say. And that version is 2 years behind on the JP version, and as such, we can take a look at what happened on JP and kind of have a good feel about what banners are coming our way. It's not perfect, because as you can see here, our Summer Servant Festival is ending on the 7th, but theirs didn't start the 11th. The reason being is that their anniversary is different from ours. Depending on when you're hearing this video, when you're watching this video, they just got started on the the anniversary for JP this year. Like, we're hearing news from it. Before I recorded this video, me and my brother were reacting to Summer Passionlip being announced. So yeah, you can see we're different because of that. Our anniversary is always in the weekend of Anime Expo, so we always know when it happens, but that's always at the beginning of July, so it messes with the timeline a whole bunch. And as you can see here, for August, how am I going to break this down? So for August, the banners I think are likely going to happen are obviously going to be the last banner remaining in Summer 2024 rerun for us. And then from there, it's going to be, we're going to go up to Wanjina. The reason is that Wanjina is early September, so it would make sense that everything below here would likely be August. And then from September, things get wacky. I'm going to assume up to, it's going to be a little bit weird. So the reason is that the Grail Front is in October, and then Super Gaiku is in November, and then in December we have what we have in December. So I'm going to make it so Grail Front and Evocation Festival I'm going to consider the start of September, but September 3000 Day Anniversary Ordeal Call Campaign Part 3, and Wanjina, that's September, and then now we can finally talk about August. Sorry, it's a big hullabaloo to talk about it, but it is very confusing. So, August, let's begin here. This is also why I put little times tables on it, so you can just skip it if you're not interested in hearing it. But anyway, August, the banners remaining for us, this is pretty easy, because I already did a video talking about a vast majority of it. The Scotty and Wu Zetian banner is going to be the thing that's going to be coming out. I don't know why I looked up the JP version. I can just go here and look at it here. But as you can see here, they're going to be showing up on Sunday. That's when this banner is going to be live, and that's going to be pretty nice for anyone looking forward for it there. And then next, after that, we go to Hunting Quest Part 13, which will have a banner in it that will feature a lot of other summer units, such as Okita Alter, Anastasia V, Charlotte Corday, Kama, Canis, BB Summer, Kiara, Ilya, Brynhilda, Abigail, Tomoe, and Murasaki Shikabu. And these are obviously all the summer versions. For BB, I can never stop myself from saying BB Summer. That's always what I see her as. But this is where a lot of other summer units at. If you are interested in them, you can keep going for it. And based off of the replies I got from the previous video, there's a lot of people going, man, I have no Sand Quartz, and yet I still want to summon on BB Summer. Rough out times out here when you don't get them on their first go around. Trust me, I know how you feel. Then next, for August, we have Ordeal Call Campaign Part 2, which will feature Muramasa, Domin, and Rasputin, with Rasputin being first, then it's a Muramasa banner, and then it is a Domin banner. And for a brief couple of days, all three of them will be up at the same time. All single banners, of course, with that making a lot of sense. And then next, we have Evocation Festival Part 4, which will have a banner that features Saber and Emmy Assassin, Ilya and Miyu, Jean and Siegfried, and the way it's going to break down is at first it's going to be Saber and Assassin Emiya, and then it's Ilya and Miyu 2 days later, and then 2 days later, Jean and Siegfried, with their limited craft essences also being with them, such as a pilgrimage to the other side, and the moment of peace going to Jean and Siegfried, Azure Magical Girl, and Kill on Sight going to the Ilya banner, and First Sunrise and Bitter Black going to the Saber and Emiya Assassin banner. Makes sense, a lot of sense. I actually would like to summon more for Azure Magical Girl, but not enough to be like, hey, I'm going to summon on this one to get more copies of Ilya and Miyu, which I don't need. I'm happy with the copies I have currently, which is, I believe, 2 for Ilya and 1 for Miyu. But if you're a big Miyu fan, this is a banner featuring Miyu, and because she is story locked, and not story locked, she's limited, and a collab unit, which is a new circle of hell just below story locked, making her extremely hard to get. So if you're looking to get her MP5, if you're trying to get her level 120, or hell, you just want more copies to eventually get her to grand status for you later down the road when that is applied to us, then you kind of don't have much say in what banners you're summoning for, do you? Kind of have to go for Miyu when you see it, but there you go. Those are the people I would assume would be summoning on it, and in general for most people that they obviously summon on it because they want the unit when they're not a huge meta-defining one. And then next is the Kilma Fest. Obviously, ours is not going to share the same name, but I think we are going to get this banner. It's a banner that features Benienma, Ibuki, and Minamoto no Tomatoma. With Benienma being first, then Tomatoma, and then finally ending with Ibuki, Saber Ibuki. And yeah, pretty normal banner here. I like a lot of the dudes here, but thankfully I have at least 2 of them, which is Benny and Ibuki. And Minamoto no Tomatoma, I don't need to get them right now. Right, at least. Just because they're not limited, so I could always randomly get them at some point. So it's not the worst feeling. And obviously I said Wanchina would be the start of September, so that what looks like August is going to be, but there is one thing we have to bring up, which is in August we have a special thing called the Back to School campaign. And the Back to School campaign is a banner that's typically new to us that was not in JP. Like last year it was Koyanskaya and Salter, which is an insane banner to just drop on people out of nowhere. Absolutely fucking crazy that they did this. But the year beforehand they were able to roll it up into, I think it was a Miyu and Ilya banner, which made sense because it was related to school. So of course we could have something like this where we could have Ilya, Summer Ilya, and Miyu. The year before that was Mysterious Heroine XA, and I believe that is the first year that they did it. So I think because it's been happening at least once a year since Mysterious Heroine X, it would make sense to do it again this year. What banner is going to be related to it? I think they're finally going to do the right thing, which something they should have done a long fucking time ago, which was give us the stuff from the Spring New Aid Mastered campaign. And this is including all the stuff that was related to this, because this is always a good way to give us a cleanup to see what sync quartz are we missing that JP had around this time, and then just give it to us. But the summoning campaign here features Merlin, Emiya, Saber, Heracles, Gilgamesh, and Astolfo, with the big one being here, obviously Merlin. I would like it if they were able to bring back Merlin for this one. The problem is that the rest of the banner is okay in parts. Obviously, Gilgamesh has plenty of fans that would love to have more copies of him. Heracles actually doesn't have very many featured rate-ups all that much, so it would be nice to have him as a featured rate-up, especially, like I said, looking for a Grand Berserker being Heracles just makes sense. As a big Herc fan, I could definitely see the appeal in that. It's just the Emiya, Stelfo, and Saber, especially with another Emiya and Saber banner coming pretty close hand. I don't know if they would have double Saber banners. But maybe they'll mix and match it. They'll take the important ones from it and kind of go from there. Kind of hard to see which way they decide to go on this one. So, We'll see. I think it's definitely a case of, I think it's likely for Merlin, and then if I was them, I would probably try and tie it to the Evocation Festival Part 4, just because I think this is close enough to a back-to-school thing that it makes sense. Chloe's a child, she can go to school. Ilya's a mother, she can send kids to school. And Siegfried, he looks like he would be about 16 or so it makes sense for him to be... He needs a learning. He was just born a little while ago. Who says a homunculus can't go to school? And then finally, next, we were going to move on to September, which is going to feature Wangina World Tour, so we'll consider this the first one of it. I'm assuming, again, a lot of assumptions here, but the summoning campaigns for it, this is actually something I regret not doing, which was showing the banners that are coming with the Wangina World Tour. I can't believe I forgot to do that. But for Wangina World Tour, it's going to be Wangina and Kriemhild, along with Voyager and Yagu, with the first banner being Wangina and Kriemhild, and then next being Voyager and Yagu. Which is very nice, especially because Kriemhild is story-locked and also an insanely good single-target Berserker who's anti-dragon, that you can also, through the use of Georgios, make anyone anti-dragon, which can in turn make her hit like a ton of bricks. The problem being is that she is story-locked, so it's actually very hard to get copies of her, so you kind of have to summon on banners that feature her to be able to actually get more copies of her, just because she's not a limited 4-star. She's not a non-limited 4-star, I should say. And then another banner which will feature Ozymandias, Nido Assassin, and then Cleopatra, with both banners of Cleopatra and Ozzy featuring Nido Assassin. These are cool units, of course, but obviously most people don't really need Cleopatra for AoE assassin hits. Nido Assassin is kind of cool in her looks and her summer swimsuit, but most people also don't really need her because she's an AoE assassin. And Ozzy is obviously a cool man that you can always find use for, but he's also not locked, so unless you're a big Ozzy fan who has somehow completely always missed out on getting Ozzy, this is your chance to get him. Especially, again, like I said, a lot of people are likely trying to prepare for the Grand system, which is a system in which you could make any one of your servants into a grand unit, and usually most people, depending on the person, either they use it for unlimited power in making the strongest unit possible, or taking their favorites and making them as strong as humanly possible. Whichever way you decide to use the system yourself, whichever way feels right for you, go ahead and do it that way. But for a lot of people, they like taking their faves and going with it that way. Samurai Remnant, we got this 2 years ago, so we're not getting it again. I also double-checked this to be sure, and yeah, we're not getting it. So, here's something fun. The 3,000 day anniversary. The last time we had 3,000, the last day celebration we had was 2,900 day anniversary, which was on June 2nd. 100 days from then is September 10th. So that means that this banner right here will be on September 10th, which is unfortunate for a lot of people because this is the banner that features Artoria Caster and Morgan. So I thought people had until October for this banner. Nah, they don't. They do not have until October. They have until September 10th, which is really fucking rough. Castoria, literally, my brother told me beforehand on the on FGO, Castoria is the most used unit since she released. This is an insane level of usage. This is bordering on max C 92% playable in Master Duel levels of holy shit. If you use Castoria, you just straight up use Castoria. The most used unit in the game. Obviously, most people are going to be going for her. Especially if they don't have her, which makes a lot of the banners beforehand a really tough, hard fucking sell to go for when you know that this woman is lurking in the future. And Morgan is also an extremely good unit. She's just not Castoria, obviously, because very few units are. But Morgan is also an extremely good AoE Berserker who can fit in a lot of multi-core type teams because of her setups and stuff like that. So, and plus both of them are fan favorites. People can also just go for them because they like Saber and they like Morgan and they like Saber faces. Then these are two Saber faces back to back. But yeah, this is, keep in mind in this says October 15th. That's not for us. It's coming way closer than you think it is. And this is also where we're going to get the SR selector if you're wondering about that. So this is something I have to talk about probably in a separate video at some point. Just to be like, hey, now that I know this is coming September, you should keep a mind on this and start thinking about it. Anyway, next for September, which is I think likely, I had to skip ahead to go look at that, but I think as far as September goes, I think Ordeal Call is likely to still be in September, and the Evocation Festival I'll start the beginning of October, since this will be mid-October. So that's how we're going to break it down here. Ordeal Call Campaign Part 3, which is a summoning campaign that features Sigurd, Shihwandi, Valkyrie, Concert U, and Red Hair. Not the greatest of banners, which is pretty easy for most people to skip on them. Red Hair, our version of a gacha horse. Musume may have a bunch of them and being female race horses, but hey, we have Red Hair. And if you want to count Concert U's husband, that's another horse, the mechanical horse. We have one more horse, which is Lu Bu. Because Lu Bu is potentially has the mind of Red Hair or something like that. And then we have a Centaur, which is not a horse, so I'm not considering it that, because a Centaur is half man, half horse, but we're going into logistics here. And the fact that I'm talking more about what horses are in the game shows you that likely you shouldn't really be summoning on this banner at all. And then we get to October. And for October, we have Evocation Festival Part 5, which is a summoning, which is going to feature banners with Saber Shiki, Semi Reigns, Osaka Bihime, Asagami Fujino, Liz, Hephaestion, with the breakdown kind of looking like this, where it's going to be Shiki and Fujino first, Hime and Liz, and then Reigns and Hephaestion, with everyone getting CEs from the events they came from. Trigger Achievement. That one's a good one. I have that one max limit broken. Yep, all these related to their events, you'll be able to get a chance to get them again. This one is another one where I said again Fujino when I talked about she is a collab unit that's limited, so there's not many chances to get them. If she's a favorite of yours and you're looking to potentially get her to a grand status, you have to get her while you can, and this is a pretty good banner to do it. It's just unfortunate where it's kind of located. It's very rough. And for the rest of these, I think, as far as the limited units go, they're very good. Hephaestion is also really good, but they're not limited. Liz is not limited, and she can be kind of useful in some cases. Hime is also not limited at all, so I feel weird about ever chasing non-limited 5 stars unless you're huge fans of them. Usually, I prefer to do the method of, I just wait to see if I get them, and that's about it. So that's Evocation Part 5, and that's what I'm considering the start of October. So next would be Grailfront pre-release, or maybe this would be the start, who knows. There's going to be no banners related to this. What? No banners? How am I supposed to make content with no banners, FGO? What's going on here? It's okay, because it's Ptolemaeus. There's plenty of summoning campaigns related to him. Let's go. So we have Ptolemaeus, Sugatani Zenjubo, and Peninsula. I don't know why I screwed up and sounded a little bit like Mike Tyson there. But that's going to be the main banner here. Ptolemaeus is an insanely good archer to the point where it made people not want to summon on other archers for this year, because they said, I already know one of the best is coming near the end. He has a very interesting and cool mechanic where he can change from old to young, and that also changes his NP type, which is similar to Melusine, except for he can change it back. Very cool unit. I'm also likely going to be going for him. But the other campaigns related to this event is one that features Taigong Wang, Theseus, and Neza. And then another summoning campaign that features Iskandar, Theseus, Azul, Lord Waver. I should just call him Waver. And Sugatana Zenjobo again. Very nice, very cool banners, but Ptolemaeus is definitely the main big one here. He's the one most people are focusing on, and the rest are kind of like, if I want them or if I need them. Use the above cases of Wookiee has used for the many units he said of why you need them. I'm going to consider this the start of November just to make it easier as we head off into December. Alright, so Ordeal Call Campaign Part 4. Summoning Campaign is going to feature Arjuna Alter, Jinako, Lakshimba, Asclepius, and William Tell. I know I'm saying his name wrong, but I prefer to say Asclepius. With the first banner being Arjuna Alter, Lakshimba, and Asclepius over here. Then we have Jinako, Tal, and Lakshimba here. Jinako is by her own rights a perfectly good and really awesome support unit, but Arjuna Alter is the man with the plan, the big buff damage dealing monster that he is. I could absolutely see someone going for him, because Arjuna Alter still to this day is a goddamn heavy hitting unit. If you are in Buster, he's definitely one of the ones to go for. The only complaint I've ever heard is from a newer player who was like, I don't like his 30 NP charger, I prefer it when they have 50. which is fair enough when you're in the early games, but he just kills things so good that I'm like, I don't care that he doesn't, that you have to invest more into mana charge if you want to get the full kind of loop experience with him. He just deals so much damage that I think it's worth going for. But yeah, Arjuna Altar. I didn't realize how many I'm so glad for the vast majority of this I have all these units and I don't have to worry about summoning, because this is kind of rough if you're missing all these. So 29 million downloads campaign. It's a summoning campaign that features Melusine and Borgust. This would be a perfect chance for me to get more Borgust dupes. And also a Raid Up Craft Essence for Holy Heart. And these won't be on Raid Up, but here we go. Melusine is absolutely one of the best, if not the best, AoE Lancer in the game, so it would be 100% worth going for her, especially if you are in the market for an AoE Lancer for Buster. And if you need a single target Arts Buster, she can also be for single target purposes, and you can never turn her into her final. You can never use her third skill until the match is basically close to being done. You can also use her for that. Melusine is very good, obviously, insanely good. And Bargus is also pretty solid if you're looking for a kind of setup. In the Grail War, she can be really good because she's tanky as hell. And she's limited, which is so sad. Story locked, even worse. She's story locked. So, I have been trying to get more copies of Vargas for the longest fucking time. I'm stuck at like 2 NP copies for both the Summer version and the Saber version. As someone who would absolutely love to have either one of those 2 versions, with my current leaning towards being the Archer one, because I've been using her a whole bunch for Summer and I really like that one. But I use this one every single chance that I can get. It would just be nice if one of them I could get to NP5, and this would be my best chance at it, I think. The problem is that I feel like because of my desire sensor, I will automatically get Melusine, but is it really the worst thing in the world if I suddenly get a NP3 Melusine or something? The worst case scenario is I get absolutely nothing and get shit on, but hey, that's gacha games for you, am I right? But anyway, that's the banner for 29 million downloads, and then we have Evocation Festival Part 6, which this will feature a banner that has Demon King Nobunaga, Sakamoto Ryoma, and Lancer, Nightingale, Oda Nobunaga, Okada Izzo, and Nursery Rhyme, with the banner breakdown being the 2 Nobunagas first, and then follow it up with Ryoma and Izzo the next, and then the final banner being Nightingale and Nursery Rhyme, with the Craft Essence breakdown looking like this for them. I guess it's all of them? Sure. Well, that's a weird way of looking at it, but sure, let's go with that. And yeah, if you're a big fan of the Gouda Gouda stuff, this is a good way to pick up on a lot of the Gouda Goudas from previous years, but for the most part, I think most people are pretty good on where they are for right now. Thankfully, I have all these but Demon King Nobunaga, and I actually would really like Demon King Nobunaga, because that would be nice. If you're someone who's a big fan of Izzo, and you're like, I need more copies of this shaggy dog, this is your best chance of probably going for him again. I believe whenever they show up on the main banner is when you can... actually, no. I'm not going to say anything I'm not definitive about shit just yet. But either way, you can try and get more copies of Izzo's, because it's a real big pain in the ass to try and 3-star. To get level 120 max everything with a 3-star, that's limited, because he's obviously limited. If he wasn't limited, it's the easiest fucking thing in the world. But of course, he's limited, and he's also one of the fan favorites of the game. So go fucking figure, am I right? Next is Gouda Gouda Super Goryaku. No, it's Super Goryaku. Goryokaku? Sure. Goyokaku. Okay, so next is this one, which is going to feature a banner that has... Holy shit. We have Takeda Shingen, or Takeda Haranobu, or Nagakura Shinpachi Dondeke, and then we have Mori as well, Mori Nagashiyoshi. And then the next campaign is one that features Okita, Hijikata, Saito Hajime, and Mori again. Summoning Campaign 3 is the one that features Kenshin, Shinpachi, Dondake again, Mori, and then another Summoning Campaign that's going to feature Okoni, Okita Alter non-summer version, Senno Rikyo, and Mori. And then a Friend Point banner that will have Oda Nobukatsu in it, so you can get more copies of them, some limited craft essences and stuff like that. Oh boy. This is a rough go-around, for sure. I know that Shingen is a super popular character, and so is Kenshin, so I'm sure plenty of people are planning around them. In terms of the other ones, I'm obviously wanting to try it because I want to get some copies of my boy Shinpachi, Gintama represent. Even though this version of Shinpachi is not the same man I know who yells out Dondeke. And even then, it's really more of a joke. But anyway. It's really rough. If you're a big fan of Gouda Gouda and you're late to the game, at least you can get a lot of them. I'll say for this one, the hardest thing to say about Rikio is that unfortunately they did get replaced. They'll be replaced by next year, but if you don't care about that, then obviously you can still keep using your really good unit. You'll just be in the mind that, hey, they're not the best at the moment, but that's perfectly fine if all you care about is love. And then finally, we'll go into December, and this is how the breakdown for this one is going to look like. With there being Christmas here, there's no banner related to here, but I'm sure when we actually get the Christmas. So, Kenshin is the last new unit of the game. There will be no new units for Christmas. It's actually just the solo-ass Nemo banner with some CEs related to the event. But this is insane to me, how much they were like, you know what? You deserve a break. Nemo only, pass. It's not even the Nemo that you want, which is the... which is the Grand Nemo from Arcade. It's just Nemo. Another banner that features Brittle Mart. Another banner that features BB Summer. So if you missed out on getting one... If you're not ready for her this year, for coming up pretty soon in the coming month, you can wait till Christmas time when things are really chill and then go from there. And then, of course, she's also featured with as Vataman, who is also story lock. So that's also an additional bonus to kind of go for her. Especially since the one for this... the one that's upcoming only features BB and no one else on it. Summon Campaign 4, which features regular Scotty and Asvataman. And then the Friend Point campaign, which is going to get Mary Anning, which is your chance to get Mary Anning. 100% worth it. I love my girl Mary Anning. I have her grailed and everything. And that's the last bit of stuff for as far as the Christmas event goes. For some other stuff, let's see. We have a banner that features nothing on here. Those banners are likely the last things that are going to kind of go for us. Like, yeah, there's literally nothing. That Christmas event is literally just everything, and then they're like, yo, pack your shit up, get ready for New Year's. So they might introduce some new stuff just to be like, hey, we're going to be a little bit different here and actually introduce some new things. And then, of course, 2024, the start of January, this is the start of the collab year, and we started off with, of course, the main servant and Fate Samurai as we prepare for the Fate Samurai event. I'm not going to show the unit yet, mainly because it shows their real name, and I don't know it yet, because I haven't gone through the game, so to avoid myself from a spoiler, just trust me on this one. The main saber from Samurai is going to be the New Year's unit for the year. And that's the remaining banners for 2025 that we know of course, with some speculation on the side on some of the other ones. Yeah, this is definitely a rough one if you're someone who was like... who is not fully caught up in the game. I think for people like me who have most some units that they care about. Because a lot of the units I featured here, I'm like, damn, that would be insane if I got like Melusane and stuff like that. But I already have Melusane, so I'm kind of good. So I'm kind of looking at the units that are debuting, like Wanjina, Kenshin, I'm kind of looking at them. I think the best that I'm doing is probably around 3 multis at most. I really went pretty hard into summer because of Bargus. So I am in kind of the same boat as everyone else, where I am... I'm having to wait to get... I'm going to have to pile up my sync quartz once again to get everything, so... It's rough out here, but that's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, if you want to show support, you can always leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate it a whole bunch, because the channel has been growing, and it's very nice to see. A friend of mine, which is nice because I'm very bad when it comes to releasing videos. There's a video I was supposed to release like 2 weeks ago that I'm still doing it, but when I was talking to a friend over it, they were kind of surprised at how much the channel had grown, because the last time they looked at it, it was, you know, it was relatively small, but I was doing my own thing, and he's like, I'm shocked that you're still growing, and I'm like, yeah, thank you very much, man. I didn't expect it either, because I just was kind of hanging out by the thousands for many years here, and it has been a pretty nice growth pretty recently, and it's felt nice, and it's also made me want to do better, and so... As such, I end up re-recording a lot of stuff. But that's enough of me talking about... I'm treating it like this is the end of the video. Like, I'm like, actually, this is the end of the year. No, it's not. There's more stuff to do. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. And before I head off, I'm just going to show you the reactions I had with my brother for Summon Passionlip. Till next time, everyone. Wish you all the best. Peace out. Goodbye. Live reaction to Summer Passionlip? What's going on?
She's the fucking 5-star.
No way.
After they announced Summer Tez as well.
What?
They announced Summer Tez. And Saito and Kukaster.
No! No! Where's this?
You just put it.
I did miss it.
Guangzhou and Krimhild are the 4 stars so far. They're showing them all.
End of part 1. Alright.
Krimhild, Huangzhou, Tez, Saito, and Kukaster.
There has to be. If Tez is here, I have to be this step closer to Cuckoo.
Yes.
I have to be one step closer.